When I first arrived in the Philippines, I thought I understood polite behavior. I grew up in the Midwest where people say please and thank you like it's a competitive sport. But what I didn't realize was that politeness in the Philippines was a whole different universe, a universe in which saying no was basically illegal. And I, being the kind of person who says exactly what's on my mind, was about to find out just how confusing this could be. It started the moment I tried to order food at a local carinderia in Cebu City. I wanted adobo with rice, nothing fancy. The woman behind the counter smiled, her eyes twinkling. "Sure, yes, you want rice?" she asked enthusiastically. I nodded, but when I tried to say, "Actually, just 1 cup of rice, please," she hesitated, then quickly shook her head and said, No, more rice is good, yes." I laughed, thinking it was cute, until I realized she wasn't joking. She genuinely could not hear me say no. Over the next few weeks, I began to notice it everywhere. At jeepney stops, when I politely tried to decline rides from multiple tricycle drivers, they wouldn't take no for an answer. "Just a little ride, yes? You try, yes?" they'd say, waving me on with a grin. I was flustered at first, thinking, do they think I'm being rude? But soon I realized they weren't being pushy, they were being Filipino. Saying no was, in a strange way, uncomfortable for them. I was invited to a fiesta in a small town near Bacolod. I didn't even know what kind of food would be served, and I was not hungry, having just eaten a giant bowl of chicken and nasal at a street stall. When the host handed me a plate, I tried to politely decline, mumbling, "I really can't eat more, thank you." She looked at me, horrified, and firmly said, No, eat. Must try." I tried again, softer this time. "Maybe just a little?" she gasped, clutching her pearls her beaded necklace, and went to fetch another serving. I realized that in Filipino culture, declining food wasn't just impolite, it was almost sacrilegious. The refusal implied you didn't respect the person offering it. The more I explored, the more I saw this no avoidance in action. At a small boutique in Bigan, I tried to say no to an overly enthusiastic shopkeeper who insisted I try on every barong in the store. "I just want to look," I explained, thinking it would be enough. But she shook her head vigorously, smiling wider than ever. No, you must try. Only try, yes? Just try." I found myself nodding, laughing, and eventually standing in front of a mirror wearing a lime green barong that I had no intention of buying. By the time I left, I had purchased 2. It wasn't manipulation, it was a cultural rhythm. People simply don't like hearing no, and they find ways to dance around it until you say yes, or at least appear to. It's not just in shops or street food stalls. At my Airbnb in Davao, I wanted to decline a neighborhood tour offered by my host. I politely said, "I think I'll stay in today, thank you." His response, No, you must go. Tour is good. Very fun. You cannot stay." I was a little frustrated, but mostly fascinated. In America, declining politely is normal, expected, and often respected. Here, saying no is almost like a social faux pas, tiny arrow pointing at someone and saying, "You are rude." I started asking my Filipino friends about it. "Why is saying no so hard for you?" I asked one evening over Halo Halo in Manila. They laughed, a soft, knowing laugh, and said, "It's not that hard. It's just uncomfortable. We don't like to disappoint. We don't like conflict. Saying yes keeps everyone happy." And then they winked, because of course, Filipinos find a way to say yes while still communicating a different kind of no-through tone, facial expression, or the magical maybe. I learned quickly that context matters. For example, if a tricycle driver says yes, but shakes his head slightly and shrugs, it usually means, "I'm saying yes because I don't want to be rude, but I actually think you should walk." If someone offers you food and repeats, No, eat," with wide eyes, it usually means, "I care about you and want to show it through feeding you." Everything is a little indirect, a little exaggerated, and almost always infused with kindness. I started experimenting. I tested the no theory everywhere I went. At a bakery in Iloilo, I said, "No, I really don't need another pastry," and watched as the staff gasped. "No, but it is very good, very sweet, very soft. You must try." I laughed so hard I almost dropped my iced coffee. I realized the American no is a polite boundary. The Filipino no is a near impossible concept, replaced by creative ways of gently insisting you accept what they offer. Sometimes it backfired in hilarious ways. I was in Palawan trying to book a boat tour. I said, "No, I think I'll just stay on the beach today." The operator blinked at me. "No, but must see the island. So beautiful. You cannot stay." After several minutes of polite but emphatic refusals, I gave in. I went on the tour and it was breathtaking. The waters were turquoise, the limestone cliffs dramatic, and the hidden lagoons looked like they belonged on a movie poster. I learned something important. Saying yes sometimes leads to unexpected adventures. Even in professional settings, the no avoidance is apparent. When I worked with a small marketing team in Cebu, I suggested an idea that I thought might be controversial. I expected a straightforward critique. Instead, I got smiles, gentle nods, and the repeated, "Yes, yes, maybe." It took me a few moments to realize they weren't agreeing, they were avoiding direct disagreement. Later, they privately told me all the reasons they thought the idea wouldn't work. It was like a social dance: public yes, private honesty. The pattern even extended to street-level politeness. I was walking through a market in Pampanga when a vendor insisted I buy a basket of mangoes. "No, thank you," I said softly, hoping to avoid confrontation. She pouted slightly, then said, No, very good mangoes. You try. You buy small one, yes?" Eventually, I bought a mango. I laughed as I walked away, thinking, at first, I thought this was about manipulation. Now I see it's about connection. Saying yes binds you together. I noticed that Americans often find this exhausting or even frustrating. We're trained to value efficiency and clarity. But Filipinos operate on a different wavelength on relationships and harmony, not directness. Saying no risks breaking that harmony, creating tension where none should exist. In a way, it's beautiful. It's not about dishonesty, it's about preserving goodwill. And after weeks of watching it, I started to admire it. One night, sitting on a balcony in Tagaytay, looking out at the Tal volcano glowing under the moonlight, I reflected on my own habits. I'm so used to being blunt, direct, and transactional. But here I realized that kindness is sometimes more important than clarity. Sometimes a yes is an agreement, it's an invitation to share in a moment, a meal, or an experience. The refusal is transformed into something gentle, humorous, and full of warmth. By the time I left the Philippines, I had mastered the delicate dance of no. I had learned to say it softly, indirectly, and sometimes just give in and say yes to see where the adventure led me. I'd been invited to countless meals, festivals, and trips I hadn't intended to attend. I had tried foods I never would have touched otherwise. I had laughed until my cheeks hurt at the sheer insistence of strangers who refused to hear me say no. On the plane back to America, I looked out over the islands and smiled. Saying no in the Philippines is complicated, yes, but it's also a window into a culture that values connection, respect, and warmth above all else. I realized that I'd been missing something important back home. Sometimes saying yes, even when you want to say no, can open your heart to unexpected beauty, laughter, and memories that last a lifetime. And now, as a blonde American who once thought no was sacred, I carry a new understanding. The next time someone offers me food, advice, or an unexpected adventure, I pause. I smile. I nod. And I say yes, sometimes reluctantly, sometimes eagerly, but always with gratitude, knowing that this simple word can mean so much more than agreement. The Philippines had taught me that avoiding no isn't a weakness. It's a philosophy, a way of life, and a reminder that connection often matters more than clarity. And I, with all my American directness, had learned to dance along, laughing all the way.